Calpurnia hands Atticus a note telling him that his children have not been home since noon. Mr. Underwood says that Jem and Scout are in the colored balcony and have been there since just after 1 in the afternoon. Atticus tells them to go home and have supper. They beg to be allowed to hear the verdict. Atticus says that they can return after supper. Calpurnia marches Jem, Scout, and Dill home. They eat quickly and return to find the jury still out, the courtroom still full. Evening comes and the jury continues to deliberate. Jem is confident of victory, while Dill has fallen asleep. Finally, after 11 that night, the jury enters and delivers a guilty verdict. The courtroom begins to empty, and as Atticus goes out, everyone in the colored balcony rises in a gesture of respect.
The night of Tom Robinson's trial, Jem cried when the jury declared that Tom Robinson was guilty.
It ain't right. It ain't right, Atticus.
No, son, it's not right. Atticus and the children walk home, and Alexandra was waiting up for them.
I'm sorry, brother, for what happened. Is Jem alright?
He'll be so, presently. It was a little too strong for him. I'm going to bed. If I don't wake up in the morning, don't call me.
I didn't think it is wise in the first place to let them.
This is their home, sister. We've made it this way for them. They might as well learn to cope with it.
Atticus, you are the last person I thought would turn bitter over this.
Peter, just tired. I'm going to bed.
Atticus?
What, son?
How could they do it? How could they?
I don't know, but they did it. They've done it before, and they did it tonight. And they'll do it again, and when they do it, it seems that only children weep. Good night. Always better in the morning. Atticus rose at his usual ungodly hour and was in the living room behind the mobile register. It's not time to worry yet, Jem. We're not through yet. There'll be an appeal. You can count on that. Gracious alive, Carl. What's all this? Tom Robinson's daddy sent you along this morning. I fixed it. You tell him I'm proud to get it. Bet they don't have chicken for breakfast at the White House. What are this? Down at the hotel sent them. You better step out here and see what's in the kitchen, Mr. Finch. Reckon Auntie will let me eat this in the dining room. This was all around the back steps when I got here this morning. They appreciate what you did, Mr. Finch. They aren't overstepping themselves, are they? Tell them I'm very grateful. Tell them they must never do this again. Times are too hard. Atticus left the kitchen and Jem and Scout heard Dill approaching and told them about Miss Rachel's reaction to last night, which was, if a man like Atticus Finch wants to butt his head against a stone wall, it's his head.
I got her told, but she didn't look much like Dale this morning. Said she was up half the night wondering where I was. Said she'd had the sheriff after me, but he was at the hearing.
You have to stop going off without telling her. It just aggravates her.
I told her till I was blue in the face where I was going. She's just seeing too many sneakers in the closet. Bet that woman drinks a pint for breakfast every morning. No, she drinks 2 glasses full. Seen her.
Don't talk like that, Dale. I'm not becoming to a child. It's cynical.
I ain't cynical, Miss Alexander. Tell the truth. Not cynical, is it?
The way you tell it, it is. Let's go. You can take that runner with you.
After the meal, The children went outside and found Miss Stephanie, Miss Murray, and Mr. Avery gathered out in the front of their house, talking.
Jem, come over here. Jem Finch, I called to find out if you and your colleagues can eat some cake. Got up at 5 to make it, so you better say yes.
Miss Murray took the children inside her house and offered them a cake.
Don't fret, Jem. Things are never as bad as they seem. I simply want to tell you that there are some men in this world who were born to do our unpleasant jobs for us. Your father's one of them.
Oh, well.
Don't oh well, mister. You are not old enough to appreciate what I said.
It's like being a caterpillar in a cocoon. That's what it is. Like something asleep wrapped up in a warm place. I always thought makeup folks were the best folks in the world. At least that's what they seem like.
We're the safest folks in the world. We are sometimes called on to be a Christian. But when we are, we've got men like Atticus go for us.
Wish the rest of the country thought that.
You'd be surprised how many of us do.
Who? Who in this town did wanting to help Tom Robinson? Just who?
His colored friends, for one thing, and people like us, people like Judge Taylor, people like Mr. Hectate. Stop eating and start thinking, Jem. Did it ever strike you that Judge Taylor naming Atticus to defend that boy was no accident? That Judge Taylor might have had his reasons for naming him. You think about that. It was no accident. I was sitting there on the porch last night waiting. I waited and waited to see you all come down the sidewalk. And as I waited, I thought Atticus Finch would win. He can't win, but he's the only man in these parts who can keep a jury out so long in a case like that. And I thought to myself, we're making a step. It's just a baby step, but it's a step.
It's alright to talk like that. Can any Christian judges and lawyers make up for hidden juries? Since I get grown.
That's something you'll have to take up with your father.
Ain't you heard it? It's all over town. This morning, Mr. Bobby will stop Atticus in a post office corner, spat in his face, and told him he'd get him if it took the rest of his life.
As Miss Stephanie Crawford finished talking, the children went home while Jem and Scout was worried about Atticus. They started thinking about him borrowing a gun to defend himself from Bob Ewell.
Said she was up half the night.
Jem, come over here.
Jem Finch, I called to find out. It's like being a caterpillar in a cocoon. That's what it is. Who in this town did wanting to... It's alright to talk like that. Can any Christian...